and you're talking to your rheumatologist about a biologic? This is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira giving me new perspective. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at work.
Started my Camry. Picked up someone I hadn't seen in far too long. Went somewhere we'd both never been. Did something we'd both never done. And was reminded that the most important things in life aren't things, they're people.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying
Take any client when you accept credit cards with Square. There's one low rate for every card. And you see money in your bank account as fast as the next business day. Schedule appointments, send text reminders, and learn how to keep clients coming back with real-time sales reports. Take care of your business with Square. Get started for free at square.com.
The Conference Call, the ultimate arena for business. Hour after hour of diving deep, touching base, and putting ducks in rows. The only problem with conference calls, eventually they have to end. Unless you have the Comcast Business Voice Edge mobile app. It lets you switch seamlessly from your desk phone to your mobile with no interruptions. I've never felt so alive.
Get the future of phone, and the phones are free. Comcast Business, built for business.
100-967-2350. The savings could really add up.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm in the lab with our hurricane specialist, Michael Lowry, and we are tracking our newest tropical depression. Yes, it's in the Gulf, and yes, we're seeing rain in Florida, but are they exactly related?
No, they're not, Kelly, and it's a little surprising when you look at the satellite picture this afternoon. There's some of that, obviously, tropical moisture is getting pulled into Florida, but not directly associated with the tropical depression. This is where we're looking, though, all the way over here west of the Yucatan Peninsula. That is Tropical Depression 9. That's it. Hardly any clouds to speak of really there. And
I mean, a lot of people would think it was that blob right there, right?
Sure, yeah. I'll explain what's happening there in just a minute. 35-mile-per-hour winds, 1,003 millibars. Pressures are actually pretty low. That's low for a tropical depression. Moving very slowly east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. They say 90 miles from Campeche, but it's still only about 30 miles from actually making landfall. So this one would probably be moving in during the overnight hours. This is what the radar looks like. Speaking of Campeche, again, on the western part of the Yucatan. Really hardly any rain showers with this one.
Shower here, shower there, a little bit more over here. But like you said, most of the convection well displaced.
Yeah, and the reason for that is we have strong winds at the upper part of the atmosphere that are just pushing everything off to the east. And if we zoom out, I can show you some of these pressure readings across the Gulf of Mexico and the Western Caribbean. 1,007 millibars here. So this is about 400 miles from our disturbance here where the pressures are 1,003 millibars. So not a big change in the pressure as you go away from this on the eastern side of it. In fact, if you look here, right, there's a little bit of a twist here to the atmosphere. Non-tropical, but there's another area of low pressure that's trying to form to the east of it, sort of robbing the inflow from that system, from our tropical depression, and that's not allowing it to strengthen. So just right now, the atmosphere not all that favorable.
But you know, this is close to land, that's close to land, and really that's going against this thing as well.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's going to move over land. It's not going to have that water, the very warm waters there in the Gulf of Mexico to work with. That's the good part of this story. We were thinking at a time that this could strengthen into a tropical storm Hannah, but the Hurricane Center no longer thinking that's going to happen, again, because it's going to be moving over land very shortly.
And then, could it be up in Cuba or could it be down in Central America?
That's the question. Look, anytime you see one of these cones bubble out, a balloon out, like we're seeing here at the end of the track, that's just telling you that the Hurricane Center is uncertain in the forecast at the longer period there as you go out in time. We think it's basically just going to kind of hang down here, Kelly, for a little bit. Some of the computer models want to try to develop it and then maybe take it back toward the north, toward the southeastern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Not looking all that likely it's going to happen, though, because of this, the wind shear, the unfavorable winds at the upper part of the atmosphere chopping off those thunderstorm tops. You can see this big cold front. You can kind of see the edge of it pushing down through South Florida. Well, that ribbon of wind shear is going to stay to the north of it. Shouldn't allow it to develop during the early part of the week. I really think that's going to be working against it. And also a lot of dry air, too.
This is great news for Miami and Fort Lauderdale, right? Look at the dry air coming in for the weekend.
I used to live in Miami, and when you go the entire summer and it's just soupy and humid every day, you love seeing this weather come October and November. This is when things get really nice across South Florida. A lot of dry air that's going to come in behind that cold front. So really drying out across South Florida for Saturday and Sunday. But then just kind of keep an eye down here if you live in South Florida, because you never know. The water temperatures are still warm enough down here in the Western Caribbean that maybe it could try to develop early next week, but our model is really not suggesting a whole lot with this.
Okay, in the meantime, South Florida, we're grateful because yesterday 7 to 9 inches of rain, West Palm Beach, so we're glad to see a better forecast.
Yeah, we could certainly use a nice kind of fall day for Florida, and we'll get that this weekend. Let's talk about what else is happening in the tropics. Invest 92L. This one we were watching for possible subtropical development looks unlikely. I do want to talk really quickly about Ana. This is a tropical storm that impacted Hawaii over the weekend, moving out over the Pacific Ocean. But Kelly, we can track its energy all the way through the Pacific Ocean to the northwest, the Pacific Northwest here for early next week. Kind of interesting.
All of the bouncing Ana in the Pacific.
Yes.
All right, Chris Warren and Kim and Mark up next.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday night, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is Weather Center Live. I'm Chris Warren, and the jet stream tells the story. If we look at the jet stream, what we see here across the entire United States, all of the weather is connected. In the Northeast, we have a nor'easter that's moving through, and in some cases, 2 to 3 hour delays already at the airports from Philly to Boston. Meanwhile, the bulge in the jet stream, the ridge here, creating some unusually warm air. And then another dip in the jet stream right here in the Pacific Northwest, bringing some very rainy and also some windy conditions. But we start right here this evening on the 7 p.m. Eastern edition of Weather Center Live in the Gulf of Mexico. Tropical Depression 9, and we go now to hurricane specialist Michael Lowry. And Michael, what are you seeing right now with this storm, and where do you think it's going to go next?
Well, Chris, is going to track over the Yucatan Peninsula over the next few days. There is a Hurricane Hunter airplane that took off from Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi just a few hours ago, and now getting close to this depression. They're going to study how strong the winds have gotten. The winds really haven't picked up all day long, and you can see that the plane is about, say, 50 miles from the area of spin, the low-level circulation, which is right down in here. And notice not a whole lot of clouds with this one. Just to the west of the Yucatan Peninsula, there are tropical storm watches out just in case this tries to strengthen to a tropical storm before getting over land, but not looking like it's going to do so. In fact, the spin is really even less prevalent silent there on our satellite picture. But the plane will be in there. We'll bring you the latest information as soon as we get it. Not quite there just yet. Here's the latest stats from the Hurricane Center. 35-mile-per-hour winds, 90 miles to the west-southwest of Campeche, Mexico, which is up here. The system is down here. It actually probably make landfall just a little bit to the south there, east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. And take a look at these pressures, 1,003 millibars. Well, the pressure across the Gulf of Mexico right now in general are pretty low. 1,007, 1,006 millibars all across the Gulf and the Western Caribbean. So there's not a big difference in the pressure across the Gulf. That's why the winds have stayed pretty calm. Here is the forecast track from the Hurricane Center, basically taking this over the Yucatan Peninsula over the next few days, say Thursday and Friday. We actually could get some of that moisture again continuing to peel off into parts of South Florida, not necessarily directly associated with the disturbance, more associated with this big dip in the jet stream. But by the weekend, we expect it to stall out here over the Western Caribbean Sea. Now, where it goes after that, a lot of question marks in the forecast. You're going to want to stay tuned. We're going to break that down for you coming up here in a little bit. Chris, back to you.
Michael Lowry, thank you very much. Breaking down the rest of the jet stream now, we have meteorologists Mark Elliott and Kim Cunningham here. We just took a look at Tropical Depression 9. Now we're moving on to the other side of the story. We're going to get to the warmth and Kim in a moment, right. But it's the dip in the jet stream right now that meteorologist Mark Elliott is going to handle.
Yeah, Chris, this is, it's kind of cool and clammy, and a lot of people in the Northeast are saying, hey, if it's going to be a nor'easter, we might as well get snow out of it.
Let's have a storm.
But in this case, that's not the type of nor'easter we're talking about. We've got the wind. We've got the criteria for a nor'easter, but this is not going to be that same kind of setup that gives you the buckets of snow. Wait a couple months, you'll get it then. Flood watches are up, though, Boston all the way up through Bangor, Maine, because the amount of rain that we're going to be seeing here is impressive. We've already seen a good deal of rain, but look at all these kind of brighter colors off the coast. We're going to zoom in for you and show you that rain is trying oh so hard to get in towards land. Just a few showers for Baltimore and D.C. You get towards the eastern shore or Delaware, some steadier showers, but it's still just showers. Look at this off the coast, though. Some really cool kind of curlicues going on. We're going to be analyzing that a little bit later on in the show. Some really fun, interesting stuff on the radars. Here's New York City, right? You can see the showers moving through Jersey. Long Island has seen some of the heaviest rain and about to get kind of hit and shellacked with another round of that heavy rain because they are further towards the east. And up towards Boston, the north side of the storm, some light showers there as well. We can zoom out, bring you back to this main story, this main jet that we've been watching. Big old dip in the jet stream. Here's our curlicue of moisture making its way through the area. The area of low pressure here that we have been seeing, well, that is going to be making its way off towards the north. It's still bringing us those winds. So it's going to be strengthening as it goes on off towards the north as well. So wind will become a bigger factor. Some of the strongest winds will actually be going offshore, though, as this storm is on the increasing trend. Tomorrow, more of the same, right? Showers, steadier rains if you're near that area of low pressure. Wind and rain near the coast, steady rain over northern New England. And guys, one of the biggest effects from this storm may very well wind up being the fact that the fall foliage is getting knocked off at this point. So if you had plans, Chris, this storm, bad news for that.
Yeah, and Mark, we do know that one person's trough for dip in the jet stream, Kim, is another person's ridge.
Yes, they go hand in hand, that's for sure. Look at the trough in the northwest, the big ridge over the center of the country. And when you see that ridge, we're talking about heat. So you guys are going to see a warm up over the next couple of days, and then maybe a little bit of a cool down. But I think overall, we're going to see temperatures actually staying above average here for some of you. So we're going to see a warm up in the plains all the way, it looks like, into the weekend. So looking at the temperatures, even here in the south, we're seeing temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Little Rock 68, Oklahoma City 74, and it goes all the way up to Omaha at 72. Now we're in the 50s right now in Minot and Rapid City, but we're also going to see a warm up for you guys. There's that big ridge. There's actually a little disturbance trying to come into this ridge. It's going to weaken. It's a very weak system. It hits that ridge and weakens, but we will see those temperatures warm. We've got some moisture coming up into the plains as well, so our overnight lows will actually be pretty warm too. So the good news is the heat will continue into this area, and I'm having trouble advancing this for some reason. Anyway, guys, you get the idea. With the ridge in place, we will see warm coming at us, but with the trough over to the west, eventually we're going to see that ridge break down. But if you live here, the good news, enjoy this time. We're going to see temperatures above the average over the next couple of days, and it does look actually pretty good once this system does get through. So, Chris, I think overall looks good. A lot of us will be dealing with above average temperatures.
All right, and that's not too bad at all at the time. You're going to be back later with the 7-day forecast to see how long that's going to last.
Okay, yes,
all right,
I will.
And we're also, Mark scurried off to try to help you with your computer.
I know, God bless him.
Right. But Mark's also going to be back with a third part of the jet stream impacting the U.S., and that is the dip in the jet stream in the Pacific Northwest. And take a look at this. This is some video from one round of storms in Oregon as the state's getting hit also with rain and wind, similar to the Northeast. Now we're going to take a look at how much rain we're expecting and how long this stormy pattern will remain in the Pacific Northwest and as far south as California. And for the next hour, we're counting down the top 5 videos of the day. At number 5, hail in Brick, New Jersey. You can hear it. This was yesterday afternoon, some small hail, some pea-sized hail there. We're going to have the number 4 video coming up in less than 10 minutes. And of course, a little bit later, we'll have the number 1 video. We'll count down them all for you. And we're also keeping an eye on Game 2 of the World Series, still in Kansas City. Giants are up 1-0 on the series. Weather should not be a problem. Temperatures in the 60s. Again, we have that 7-day forecast for the entire country coming up. Stay with us here on the 7 p.m. Eastern edition of Weather Center Live.
Since 1902, Carrier has been inventing new ways to make people comfortable. And today, we're thinking even bigger, thinking about the specifics of your home and how you live in it. What if you could control your home's energy usage with a fingertip? Or just let us do all the work for you? Well, what if is now what is. Carrier. Turn to the experts.
A party?
Hi, I'm new Ensure Active Clear Protein Drink.
Clear, huh? My nutritional standards are high.
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein.
Twist my lid. That's 3 times more than me.
17 vitamins and minerals.
And 0 fat.
You'll bring a lot to the party.
Yay!
New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat, 17 vitamins and minerals, and delicious blueberry pomegranate and mixed fruit. Take life in.
Hey, big bog panorama corn salad, baby.
Warm snap, Jebby, Robot, Jim Big Dito Flash.
Now's the time to get in the loop. Just look for our fall TV picks with Xfinity On Demand. Quickly find the season's hottest shows with a hand-picked collection all in one place. Only from Xfinity.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers. High 79. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8. Coming up next.
I've got one shot. Let's go Twins right, 24 stretch.
24 stretch, all diamond.
Twins right, 24 stretch. All diamonds on 2 ready.
When the game's on the line,
Hit him with a hard count. See if they'll tip their hand.
the NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
They're blitzing up the gut. Get out of the pocket.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
When we say the all-new Chrysler 200 is all new, we mean it. We used the latest tools and built a new state-of-the-art manufacturing plant. We gave it new smart technology. We challenged conventional thinking with a more intuitive design. And we set new expectations of what an American sedan can be. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
This is Weather Center Live, and the jet stream really telling the story today. And last few minutes ago, Mark, you were talking about the nor'easter, and we want to get now to the warm-up in the plains. And Kim, we want you to kind of walk us through what we're expecting here, because you have the trough, ridge, another trough. Mark, you can do that trough in a moment.
I get all the rain today.
You get all the rain today. Yes. But we have sunny and warm Kim here for the plains.
Thanks, you guys. You know what? It's kind of what we call a dirty ridge, though, because we actually have like a system trying to get through the ridge, and it's actually got some clouds, a little bit of rain, but we've got some warm temperatures, and we're going to see that continue here over the next couple of days for some of us. So let's go ahead and talk about the south, first of all, where temperatures here in the 70s, so a very pleasant October day. 68 in Little Rock. We've got 70s into Omaha. We've got the 50s here. That's because of that disturbance or that front that's moving through this area, at least right now. So we've got 65 in Denver, 58 in Minneapolis, Wichita at 75, Omaha at 72. So there's the jet stream as we showed you over here on the big wall, but there it is way up in here. Here's that system trying to come in. We've got the moisture. You can see right here in the purples and the whites coming in, a weak system. It hits the ridge and it really begins to weaken. That's what's happening here. So you may get a little bit of a cool down with maybe some of the rain, but once that passes by, we're going to see temperatures really beginning to warm up. So here we are later in the week. There's that jet stream building farther to the north and west. So now we're going to see even warm temperatures for the Rockies. Temperatures here 10 to 20 degrees above the average. Minneapolis, Kansas City, Oklahoma City. So yes, if you haven't put up the Halloween decorations yet, this might be the time to do it. It's only about a little bit more than a week away. So tomorrow's forecast, look how warm we're going to be. Look at the reds down here around the Red River Valley, 80 degrees in Oklahoma City. The reds spread northward. That means warmth all the way into the Central Plains. Kansas City now up to 80 degrees. That's 15 degrees above the average. Dallas, 90 degrees. So, you know, guys, I mean, it's October, you know, it's transition season. So that does mean we can get these warm ups like that.
We can, and it's happening in between two dips in the jet stream, two troughs. And Mark's here now with a look at the Northwest, also getting into that heavy rain.
You better hope that you're only happy when it rains in the Pacific Northwest, because while the Northeast and the nor'easter there is going to be getting out of town, this is what Seattle looks like, and get used to it, because this rain really not going anywhere soon. In fact, another impulse comes in just in time for your weekend. So while the Northeast will be clearing out, not so much as we head towards the Northeast corridor. Let's look at what's happening right now. Here's our big spinning, kind of the main focus up towards the Gulf of Alaska. But look at this atmospheric river. All these bright whites pointing at the Pacific Northwest. That is going to be that moisture coming into play. So that's something that we're going to be watching very carefully here as it kind of funnels in that rain. That's the jet stream. It's the conveyor belt. All that moisture still coming in. So what you see is what you get. Maybe some kind of pulses of moisture at times. But with that jet stream dip still there and that upper level low still there, we're going to see another impulse come riding in just in time for the weekend. So we've been seeing heavy rain the past couple of days. Within the next 7, portions of Northern California, Southern Oregon could easily see another 4 to 7 inches, Chris. So yeah, it's going to be soggy there, that's for sure.
And what we have seen lately, Mark, is that we have these tropical systems will impact other parts of the world, and that could be the case with this in the Pacific Northwest, and this is Hawaii.
And that moisture is going to get sucked in with that as well, and still factor into the Pacific Northwest forecast over the next week or so.
And that's what Hurricane Specialist Michael Lowry is going to talk about coming up in the Tropical Update. What is Ana eventually going to do as it moves across the Pacific? He's going to look at that with some impacts to the United States potentially. And right now we're down to our number 4 video of the day, Mark, and you saw this. A lot of rain coming down at West Palm Beach for sure. And after as much as 9 inches of rain fell in less than 4 inches yesterday, this is what people were having to deal with. We'll let you know if things are going to dry out in the 7-day forecast coming up.
Lowe's presents How to Say Goodbye to 1993 Forever.
Goodbye.
Hurry into
to Lowe's and get Stainmaster carpet installed free by Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Oh, chocolates.
Happy anniversary.
Okay.
No one removes messes better than Clorox Cleanup, powered by Clorox.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building, turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
There are cohabitants, and with that comes compromise. We give them a little extra space, accommodate their schedules, and sometimes we have to forgive. But when it comes to their nutrition, we never compromise. It's why at Petco, we're proud to offer Merrick, a leader in grain-free pet food made from regionally sourced ingredients in Merrick's own Texas kitchen to ensure the highest quality. Because for our best companions, only the best will do. Petco, the power of together.
Each year, 17 billion toilet paper tubes are thrown away. Enough to fill the Empire State Building. Twice. Toss the tube for good with Scott Naturals Tube Free.
I like to mix things up a bit with Grand's Mini Pot Pies. Only 4 ingredients and a few easy steps. Weeknight dinner in a flash, and my family devours them. Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make dinner pop.
I had a lot of great memories in my Honda, but when I got my big new job, I thought maybe it's time for a new ride. And I left my Honda for a new Honda. Yes, sir, I'm on my way. My Honda Civic EXL came loaded with amazing tech, like Lane Watch, which I need apparently, and Rear View Camera, which is cray-cray. Yes, I did get you tuna, no mayo.
No, I didn't. Start something special with a Civic EXL from Honda, KBB.com's most trusted brand. At your Honda dealer.
This week on the Weather Channel, a strengthening nor'easter brings potentially heavy rain, strong winds, and coastal flooding to millions. And are we looking at Hanna developing in the Gulf? Could a new tropical system make landfall in the U.S.?
One car travels towards an intersection with wipers that streak and clog, while another travels towards the same intersection with wiper blades that don't let them see clearly. But between them, the Michelin Man with Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades, a revolution in wiper blade technology, combining SmartFlex construction for superior windshield contact with proven hybrid blade design for clog-free performance in rain, ice, and snow, helping you steer clear for the road ahead. Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades, a better way forward.
Hi, sorry, we're closed.
What? I need help with my deposit.
The bank has rules.
It's really quick.
I can't hear you.
I promise I'm gonna be really quick.
I can't hear you through the glass.
I'll be quick.
You'll be quick, that's what you just said?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. We're closed.
You know what? Okay, hey, sir, okay.
It's time to bank human again. That's why TD Bank has the longest hours and even stays open an extra 10 minutes for when you run late. TD Bank, America's most convenient bank.
What would I do without you? Every day. Zulily.com. Something special every day.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers. High 79. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Look at this. Dozens of cars submerged in water in Germany. The remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo causing some big-time water issues here. Some storm surge, or at least some coastal flooding. Harbor police, divers here trying to recover the cars and get them out of the water because they were in danger of being swept completely away. Cleanup operations continue as some roads are still blocked by debris. And we have seen, hurricane specialist Michael Lowry, storms go from one side, really one hemisphere just about, to the other.
We have.
And, from one continent to another. And that's what we're seeing in Germany with the remnants of Gonzalo. And there's something else you're going to talk about that's near the Hawaiian Islands that could affect the U.S.
On the
Pacific
side.
On the Pacific,
yeah. We're going to talk about that in a second. It's kind of interesting how these, the remnants, we call the remnants, could have more impacts than the actual tropical cyclone in some cases. Let's talk about what's happening in the Gulf first, though, Chris. Tropical Depression 9, 35-mile-per-hour winds. It hasn't strengthened today. This is one that formed last night, late last night, and the pressure is pretty low, 1,003 millibars. I'll show you why this is not so important in this particular case. But what we're looking at is not this collection of thunderstorms over here. It's actually tucked away down here to the west of the Yucatan Peninsula.
Not this, which you might think by looking at it, but right there.
No, in fact, the Hurricane Center made it a point to say that those thunderstorms aren't directly associated with this tropical depression. I do want to point out, though, that hurricane hunters are flying into this literally as we speak. That's what we're seeing right now. The center of circulation is right here, so they're just now getting into the center. They left a few hours ago, and just some of the early reports I was seeing, the winds very, very light there. Hardly even finding tropical, the 35-mile-per-hour winds that are being reported.
Just curious, do you know what that little action is?
Yeah,
just maybe a little maneuver, get in the right position.
Making a little maneuver, and there's no thunderstorms there. Actually, the Hurricane Center is the ones that tell them where to fly. So they just kind of.
They've had to reroute them or something.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. No telling. Maybe oftentimes they like to turn with the winds. So sometimes if the wind was changing direction really quickly, sometimes they'll change direction to turn with the wind. But nevertheless, look at hardly anything on radar out of Campeche there. So this is really not a big thing for them right now, which is good news. The thunderstorms are well away from the center of circulation, again, which will be making landfall here in the next few hours. They'll be moving over land, which is good news. Let's talk about these pressure readings, Chris. I was telling you how the 1,003 millibars, not so much of a big deal, because we have 1,007 millibars 400 miles to the east. So the difference between the pressure is not particularly high. That's why the winds aren't that strong. And the Hurricane Center basically saying this is going to stay weak. Even if it survives, it probably hasn't a very good chance of development once it gets into the Western Caribbean. Not expecting a whole lot out of this one.
Okay, and so now we're looking at the winds. The winds
again,
shear,
wind shear through the weekend. That's going to stay high. So again, that's good thing.
That's the one right here.
Let's talk about Ana. Yeah, that's the one we were talking about. This one, well to the west of the Hawaiian Islands. That was sort of a big story last week. Now moving away and through the Pacific Ocean. Take a look at this forecast, tracking its spin or the energy. Now, once we get into early next week, this will no longer be an actual tropical cyclone. It'll be caught up within a bigger area of low pressure. But watch this, Chris. All the way across to the northwest Pacific, back in your neck of the woods there, Oregon and Washington could be impacted by its remnants come Tuesday or Wednesday.
Now we'll have to watch how this goes, because depending on the track, it could end up being a big windstorm.
It could, yeah. And here's, in fact, here's where our models are saying it's going to be that low pressure system just to the west of Washington could bring some wind, could bring some rain. But again, some of that energy tied to now tropical storm Ana, thousands of miles away.
All right, hurricane specialist Michael Lowry, thank you. And we're continuing our countdown of the top 5 videos right now with number 3. And this is a look at some heavy rain coming down. We do have, once again, a look at some of that heavy rain in Florida. We also have a water spout that we're going to show you coming up as well. It's like right outside the back of a hotel. But this is also some rain in Florida. And we want to keep you updated on what's happening in the Northeast. Of course, winds will be an issue. We'll let you know when the rain and the wind will finally come to an end in the Northeast.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
This was a good idea. Shh. I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
If you have Medicare Part D, you could be at the corner of, I'm throwing away money, and I had no idea. Well, Walgreens has your back. Our expert pharmacists make it easy for you to save on your prescriptions, so you can keep your money where it belongs. Swing by Walgreens, where you could save even more with Medicare prescription copays as low as $0. At the corner of happy and healthy.
Discover Card. Hey, I heard you guys can help me with fraud protection.
Yeah, we help with fraud protection. We monitor every purchase every day and alert you if anything looks unusual.
Wow. You're really looking out for us.
We are. And if there are unauthorized purchases on your Discover Card, you're never held responsible.
Just to be clear, you are saying frog protection, right?
Yeah, fraud protection.
Frog protection.
Fraud protection.
Frog.
Fraud.
Frog.
Fraud.
I think we're on the same page.
We're totally on the same page.
At Discover, we treat you like you'd treat you. Fraud protection. Get it at discover.com.
Make dinner about dancing and add excitement to mealtime with PetSmart. Choose from a wide assortment of food, all backed by our unbeatable price guarantee. Now save on a wide variety of Purina products and save up to $8 on select Purina Pro Plan at PetSmart.
We put all the apps you love inside a car designed to connect you to a world of possibilities. The Connected Car by Volvo. Innovating for you.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America. This is Gordon. Downtown for a sales call. West Side for a presentation. Meeting after meeting after meeting. That's why Gordon stops at Exxon and Mobil for fuels that help his engine run cleaner, smoother, and with better fuel economy. So he can make it to the meeting that matters most. Gordon is energy. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
This week on the Weather Channel, a strengthening nor'easter brings potentially heavy rain, strong winds, and coastal flooding to millions. And are we looking at Hannah developing in the Gulf? Could a new tropical system make landfall in the U.S.? Tune in to Wake Up with Al at AMHQ with Sam Champion. Live team coverage starting at 5:30 on the Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers. High 79. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8. Coming up next.
This is Weather Center Live, and if you're watching us last night, we're showing you this video here. Several water spouts. These were spotted in northwest China in the middle of a large lake. In just a few minutes, our winter weather expert, Tom Nizzle, he's going to relate what you're seeing right here in China to the Great Lakes, and he's also going to explain why we can see water spouts on lakes more often this time of year. I'm Chris Warren. This is the 7 p.m. Eastern edition of Weather Center Live. The big story tonight, the Northeast getting clobbered by a pretty decent storm, bringing wind and rain. Rain with the potential of flooding. This is a look at how much rain it's going to take to cause some flash flooding in 6 hours. In some cases, it's going to be just 2 to 3 inches. Other areas, more than 3 inches of rain. So flooding is a concern. There's also the wind, and with that, the storm is certainly putting a damper on the plans for many tourists in New England.
I was just mainly here for the fall foliage and the lighthouses, and I'm seeing beautiful fall foliage even in the rain. and I'm just enjoying your lighthouses even though it's wet.
Might be putting a damper on things a little bit as far as being outside and getting wet, but you listen to that lady, doesn't sound like it's dampening her spirits at all.
You love
Kim and Mark are back, and she seems pretty happy to be on vacation.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you plan it, you go there, and you have to, you take a risk no matter what, right? So you go up there and you just got to enjoy it. And I mean, how can you not, even in the rain, enjoy that coast? I mean, absolutely beautiful.
It is beautiful, and there is a little bit more drama when it's stormy at the coast. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful and it's romantic.
You can't change it, so you might as well embrace it.
Right.
I mean, you might as well just soak that in as part of the tour.
So the question for you, Mark, when will we see some changes?
By the weekend, things get much better across the northeast corridor. Not the same in the northwest, where the rain just seems like it's going to last for days upon days. But here across New England, you've got a couple more days of this rain. Big area of low pressure spiraling its way on through. Dry air here across the southeast, but plenty of moisture is surging its way on through and towards the coastal areas. So that's something that we're watching carefully. Our area of low pressure is going to move up the coastline, strengthening as it goes. So that's something to keep in mind. You will see strong onshore winds north of the low and strengthening offshore winds behind the system. And wind will be a factor. Certainly not the strongest area of low pressure that we've seen, but gusty winds, especially along the coastline. Some coastal flooding because of that. And you know what? We have seen some strong winds. Look at the Boston area just within the past 10 minutes or so. Now under a high wind warning for Boston and the offshore waters. There's some gale warnings around as well. Hey, look at some of the gusts that we're seeing in Boston right now, gusting to 47 miles per hour. We had seen some reports above 50 miles per hour in Boston. So these winds are a factor. Again, you're used to those kinds of winds if you're along the northeast coast, but you haven't seen them in a while now. So we can time out these winds for you, and as we go through the night, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds for Boston and Portland. Continuing through Thursday, these winds not really changing. They change direction. They go to offshore for New York City. We have to really go through the day on Friday in order for this thing to pull away and really lessen the wind factor across the northeast corridor. As for the rain, there's plenty of that too. Chris mentioned that chance for flooding. A lot of the heaviest rain for now is just off the coast. You can see that there's just light showers across the eastern shore. Central Jersey picking up in intensity just a little bit. You're seeing moderate rains there. But look what's coming in towards Long Island and coastal Connecticut. Another one of these surges, one of these impulses, one of these eddies moving its way on in. And we're going to analyze this radar coming up in about 10 minutes to give you even more details on that type of rain. Here's the Boston area, seeing some showers moving through. Heaviest stuff off to your south, but get ready. It's coming in towards you, that's for sure. Again, so over the next 2 days or so, our area of low pressure strengthens up. You'll see rain that's heavy at times, gusty winds, coastal flooding. By Friday, things start to look better. The winds diminish, the rain diminishes, but the rain, Chris, is still going to be a factor. 2 to 3 inches of rain, some of which could actually come pretty quickly. So flooding is a small concern along with the rest of it.
And it's all relative too. A few inches of rain in one spot can be a huge issue. Another spot, maybe not so much.
And it's been dry in the Northeast, so we do need the rain. It's just unfortunate that it's happening when so many tourists are there, and that rain is knocking the leaves down.
Yeah, and we saw one area yesterday, they got an enormous amount of rain, about 9 inches, and that was in Florida.
Absolutely.
And so let's go to Kim right now, who's been keeping tabs on how things are there in the Sunshine State. Kim.
And not much sunshine here for southern Florida, that's for sure. And what a season we have had from summer into fall. We have had so much rainfall, not just southern Florida, but central Florida as well. But check out Miami, 48.35 inches. Okay, so over 48 inches of rainfall since June 1st. Since June 1st, that puts us almost 9 inches above the average. Now, I know LA typically doesn't get a lot of rainfall, but since January 1st, they've only had 3.5 inches of rain. So put that in perspective. I mean, we're talking 4 feet of rainfall. That's incredible. And we continue to see rain coming down. And it's all compliments of that connection to our tropical system. A lot of tropical moisture over this area. Showers continue to move into Keys. What a horrible day today. Even here around Miami and South Beach, all the way over towards Homestead, the Everglades. We continue to see the rain south of Alligator Alley. It looks like it's kind of parking itself there and staying south of that. So that's what we're looking at right now. Again, that tropical system. We've been talking about tropical depression. over here in the Bay of Campeche. So we're watching that move east, but it looks like we're going to be staying in this mess for a couple of days. There's that connection I was talking about. Moisture coming up right into South Florida. Central Florida and northward, we don't have to worry about this. You guys are going to enjoy some beautiful weather. Now, it's always a bad scenario for flooding, or it can be, when you have a stalled out front and tropical moisture. So you got the lift, you got the daytime heating, you get the rain, you get some heavy downpours and tropical downpours that can really put down some very heavy rainfall. So any plans to head to South Florida the next couple of days, this is what you're going to be dealing with. Okay, but if you're Fort Myers northward, you're good. Going to Disneyland or Disney World, you're going to be fine. Disneyland too, they're in California. But we're looking at those storms continuing here all the way into Friday for South Florida. Chris?
Kim, thank you very much. We certainly have seen quite a bit of action in South Florida and throughout a huge portion of Florida. This is a look at the number 3 video of the day, and you can see right outside the hotel window, right by an umbrella, you see that wind spinning around. It's like that potentially. It's either some kind of a vortex or a whirl, possibly a water spout that was coming on shore, maybe a little mini one there. This is outside the Breakers Hotel yesterday in Palm Beach, Florida. It's pretty impressive seeing right there. And in China, there were definite water spouts. They popped up at the same time. And for exclusive expert analysis you will only find here on the Weather Channel, here's our winter weather expert, Tom Nizzle.
You know, during the fall season, we began to see a lot of waterspout activity on the Great Lakes, also referred to as cold air funnels. They happen when you move that cold air from Canada down across the relatively warm waters of the Great Lakes. But did you know they can occur anywhere at a latitude around the globe where you can get cold air moving across warm water? And that's just what we had here on Monday at a lake in northern China. Cold air coming down off of Siberia across this warm water develops these beautiful waterspouts in here. You can see now one, but multiple waterspout activity. Let's stop this here just for a second. One coming out of part of a convective cumulus cloud right here, and a second spout down here across the water. Now, if we continue this, you'll see that you not only have one, but multiple spouts coming down. These are not as dangerous as tornadic producing thunderstorms, but you can get 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts out of these right close into the spouts. Again, take a look at this image here. Not one, not two, but 3 waterspouts over the lake as that cold air moves over those warmer waters. And again, on the Great Lakes, I personally have seen not 1, but 2, but 3, 4, and 5 waterspouts at times during cold air outbreaks. Back in 2003, we had a significant outbreak over Lake Huron. And in fact, take a look at this event. Not 1, not 2, but 3 or 4 funnels that have developed as that cold air moves across the warmer waters. Once again, this is a season for cold air funnels or waterspouts. Stay tuned because we may see more. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Tom. And we are seeing more around the world. Our number 2 video, another water spout, this one in Portugal over the weekend. And look at that, right up against that rocky and rough hillside. The mountain's going right into the water. Amazing scene, our number 2 video. Also, we're going to have the 7-day forecast, let you know what to expect. We're also going to explain what's going on here, or at least try to explain what's going on here off the East Coast.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice, faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
Here's to the man who truly is the best of us.
Who really has the key to the city? With best-in-class payload and best-in-class cargo capacity and an unsurpassed powertrain warranty, you run the town. The all-new Ram ProMaster. Guts, glory, Ram.
You get used to the pet odors in your couch. You think it smells fine, but your guests smell this. Eliminate odors you've gone nose blind to with Febreze Fabric Refresher.
Smells good.
So you and your guests can breathe happy.
Apples are good, as Strongbow Hard Cider better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
You smell nothing. You smell nothing.
Introducing the best lightweight litter for odor elimination, guaranteed. Fresh Step Extreme. Lightweight.
At Residence Inn, you have room to stretch out, room to recharge, and room to walk tall. Because it's not a room, it's a residence. Residence Inn.
Hey neighbor, LED bulbs save energy and can last for over 20 years. So head to your neighborhood Ace now to stock up on the best bulbs for the best price. Get dimmable reflector bulb 2-packs by Fight for $19.99 after $2 instant savings.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Here at High Acres, we always say, life is better on the farm. And that's because we love what we do, which is growing the best tasting fruit available. After months of nurturing, our orchards are bursting with crispy, delicious apples. And we can't wait for you to taste them. That's why we work with Walmart. They help us deliver some of the freshest apples available, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Almost time for the #1 video, that in a moment. But first, looking back at numbers 5 through 2. Number 5, hail in New Jersey. Flooding trouble in Florida at number 4. Number 3, a water spout or some kind of a swirl right outside of a hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. Number 2, also a water spout. This one in Portugal, though, on the Iberian Peninsula. And before we get to the #1 video, Kim and Mark are back, and we're going to take a look at whichever one of those first 4 videos piques your interest.
I mean, I like the number 2 video because it's a water spout that is connected up to the cloud base. I mean, they usually will eventually, but sometimes these can form because just like a tornado does, like a supercell thunderstorm connected down basically from the cloud down. But sometimes with water spouts, the real circulation pattern happens at the bottom near the sea and starts that spin, and then the cloud kind of condenses back up and it forms from the bottom up. So this one, because you can see that whole cloud, that may actually be just a regular old tornado. It is still hard to tell, but that may be a lowered wall cloud there.
Yeah, it sure does look that way.
So that's that. I mean, that was interesting to me, seeing that kind of wide view.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Any other videos, Kim?
The hail, I thought, in New Jersey, kind of cool, too. I mean, a lot of cold air aloft as this system, you know, the nor'easter was starting to try to develop yesterday. We did get a cold pocket aloft that helped provide some of that hail. And I think, you know, in October, you know, if you're in New Jersey, you're not thinking about hail here towards the end of October. So I think a lot of people maybe caught off guard a little bit.
All right, guys.
I question his gutter system, too, because, man, that thing was pouring down right at the foundation of the house. He's going to have water in his basement if that thing goes too long.
Needs a cleaning.
Yeah.
No taking there. Yeah. Let's go ahead right now and take a look at #1. What do you think of this? We were talking about these tropical storms going thousands of miles. They're no longer tropical, but there's remnants, and they still pack a punch. And that's what we're seeing right here after Hurricane Gonzalo. The remnants of it battering the UK. This is yesterday. Gus battering Cromer Pier. And what do you think?
That's pretty crazy. And I think, Michael Lowry, nailed it when he said, sometimes the remnants can do worse damage than the actual system itself,
The
which
system
is crazy.
might not hit anything.
Right.
The hurricane might not make a direct hit,
That's
but
right.
oftentimes the remnants do hit
That's why you got to track them all the way around the world as they go.
All right, there's something else that here at the Weather Channel piqued the interest of several meteorologists that we want to take a look. We have a couple great ones right here, and Sarah Dillingham behind the scenes also working on it. And it's here, guys, the swirl. Big swirl off of the East Coast, and then swirls within the swirl.
Right. I mean, it catches your eye, the big swirl, but look at the radar. You really see
awesome.
these little eddies in the radar returns. I mean, look at this. You can see 3 of them right there, very evident.
And it's a little puzzling. Right now we're hypothesizing what we think it is. We've talked with some of our seasoned meteorologists here, and can't say for 100% certain, but Mark, what are your thoughts?
So this works the same way as if you have a stream. It's all fluid, whether it's air moving by or water in a river. They have the same kind of fluid dynamics. So if you have a rock in a river and that water hits it, it kind of bends around and it forms those eddies on the backside. So in this case, we don't have that lower pressure forming because there's nothing actually in the sky that's blocking it. But what we do have is the dry air that's coming on in that Sarah was showing us with that first image, and then all that moisture right up against it. So you have 2 different air masses.
So
and
it's like a boundary.
It is a boundary right there. And because of that, and because there's so much there's so much counterclockwise spin already because of the area of low pressure, you're getting those little eddies to form right along that boundary of that front of the dry air, what we'd call the occluded front and the warm front convergence right there.
Yeah. I think that sounds good.
Yeah,
that's about all we can come up with.
It's tough, but we're also showing you the velocity, so the wind speed and the direction,
right?
And it was also showing the differences. So it was confirming what the radar was showing us.
And they had warnings out for that. They were concerned about the people on their boats going out there, possibly water spouts associated with those too. So
and once you get that small scale rotation, it forms just like a supercell thunderstorm could. You have those things spinning around, and you could have water spouts and gusty winds. They were saying up to 58-mile-per-hour winds out there underneath those small eddies.
And do anything stand out on the visible satellite before it gets dark? Because that's pretty interesting too. Like you're saying, you get.
Well, there's all that dry air being sucked into the system, so you can basically see right there what's known as the occluded front, the front that's wrapping around the area of low pressure, and then kind of that smaller scale warm front catching up to it again.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's some cool stuff.
Thanks,
Love
guys.
it. Love it.
And we want to get to our Weather IQ question right now. And what year was the hurricane symbol first introduced? Was it 1870, 1941, 53, or 1979? The answer after the break.
So I was a head chef at 24. I won Best New Restaurant in the country at 31. I've published cookbooks. I've been on TV. I've relied on people every step of the way. I still do. I have to. So staying connected to those people, that's what makes me feel accomplished. They're people I connect with, that I'd sit at a table with. These are the people that I ride with every day.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way.
Nice.
This Maytag washer or dryer, now just $4.99 each at Lowe's.
Listen to that!
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers. High 79. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Many Americans who have prescriptions fail to stay on them. That's why we created programs which encourage people to take their medications regularly. So join us as we raise a glass to everyone who remembered today. Bottoms up, America. See you tomorrow. Same time. Another innovation from CVS Health. Because health is everything.
Hi. Are we still on for tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Quick look at the weather. Nice today, beautiful tomorrow.
Tomorrow is full of promise.
We can come back tomorrow.
And we promise to keep it that way. Driven to preserve the environment, CSX moves a ton of freight nearly 450 miles on 1 gallon of fuel.
What a day.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Your cat and a lynx. They have many similar traits, like a love for meat. That's why there's Blue Wilderness, a meat-rich, grain-free food that satisfies a primitive instinct in every feline. It contains the chicken, duck, or salmon they desire. Try Blue Wilderness today, because your cat is wild inside. Experience the lynx lair and feel the...
Hey, what's up? How's it going? What are you doing? I can't believe you're watching this without me. We agreed we'd catch up on everything tonight. If I did this to you, you'd murder me in my sleep. You know what? Just watch it by yourself. I can't not know when I know that you know.
The latest episodes of the Top 100 shows are preloaded and ready to watch with Xfinity On Demand. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Watching the NFL on Xfinity from Comcast is like having the best seat in the house on game day. Because NFL Red Zone gives you a front row seat to the biggest plays around the league, including every touchdown from every game Sunday afternoons, live, all on one channel. Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network when you add the sports entertainment package for just $4.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Visit Comcast.com/NFL today.
Looking for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
And before the break, we asked you, in what year was the hurricane symbol first introduced? Was it A, 1870, B, 1941, C, 1953, or D, 1979? And the answer is, hurricane specialist Michael Lowry.
1941, Chris. Yes, there we go. Nice, Patrick.
Well, the best part about it is that you submitted that question.
I did, yeah. That was a trick thing. Hey, look, we actually have the newsletter the Weather Bureau put out in 1941 sort of announcing these new weather symbols that they were going to use. Back in the day, they actually didn't have weather symbols on weather maps. They put them there to sort of emphasize where the bad weather was going to be, where the rain was going to be, where the hail was going to be. And then you can see right in here, that is the hurricane symbol, at least the tropical storm symbol at the time, which if you fill it in, becomes a hurricane. Looking at the weather maps, Chris, I just want to show you this really quickly. If you go back, you can go online actually and look at these weather maps. It's very interesting. The Weather Service has an archive all the way back to 1870. On the left side is the Great New England Hurricane of 1938.
And you have, looks like North Carolina right here in the Outer Banks.
North Carolina over here, right? This is when it was moving up the coast. It ended up striking New England. Very powerful Category 3 hurricane. But notice there's an L there, no symbol. But fast forward to Hurricane Camille in 1969, 30 years later, and there's that hurricane symbol right in the middle. And they fill in those symbols whenever this weather is more severe. So, for example, the symbol for hail was a triangle. triangle, but heavy or strong hail is a filled in triangle. Same way for a hurricane. That's why we fill in whenever we get a hurricane. Even though they have an eye, right? You have an opening in the middle of it. It's kind of an interesting little tidbit there for the evening. Yeah.
All right, so what are we looking at here? Is this interesting to you? Because this is very close to the lower 48 here.
Well, it's October, so it's interesting in terms of if you have an area of low pressure or tropical depression in the Gulf during October, we've seen very strong hurricanes form, so that's interesting. But it's not, because it hasn't strengthened a whole lot. Oh, darn, we lost our radar there. We switched over. But I was going to show you, if we had our radar, the radar, very unimpressive.
Not much to show.
Yeah, not really
much. So we
much
moved
there.
on. We had something else in there.
Yeah, now the Hurricane Hunter plane is flying in there right now, and I was just tweeting out how, based on what they're finding, it's going to be hard to keep calling this a tropical depression.
But you can see the spin, though.
You can see the spins there, but it's missing the thunderstorms and the winds. I mean, you're hardly seeing 30-mile-per-hour winds down there, light winds. I mean, you would expect to see maybe 30, 35-mile-per-hour winds. Not even seeing that. The convection is not all that organized. It's not very persistent, and it's moving toward land. It'll be inland here over the next few hours, so it won't be able to tap that moisture, the warmth of the Gulf of Mexico for very much longer.
All right, so what's next?
Well, what's next is it's going to move across the Yucatan Peninsula. Look at this, kind of interesting that you have two areas of spin. Obviously, here's a depression down here, but there's another little area of spin. There's a broad area of low pressure, not a tropical low at this point, but that's sort of robbing our tropical depression from the inflow of its energy right now. So you have two competing systems, and what may end up happening is this may move across the Yucatan Peninsula, weaken into sort of a broad area of low pressure, and then just hang out here over the Western Caribbean into early next week. Some of our computer models trying to develop something, what sort of remains of this tropical depression, and then lifting it up toward the southeastern Gulf of Mexico for early next week. But if you look at the conditions as we go into the weekend, into early next week, there's a lot of wind shear. There's a big old trough of low pressure and a cold front that's going to be pushing across South Florida. And you see the ribbon of strong winds here, and they're oriented due west to due east. You're not seeing sort of a bubble of favorable winds anywhere on this map. This is Sunday, so the odds of this actually trying to redevelop once we get into early next week.
If there was something, that wind would tear it apart.
It would, yeah. And then on top of that, look at this. The mid-level moisture, the brown colors are the drier areas. And you can see over here in the northern Gulf of Mexico, very, very dry. Fantastic news if you're down here in South Florida. That cold front's going to push all the way down to Cuba. It'll be a nice weekend drying out there across South Florida, but without the moisture at the middle part of the atmosphere, that again, it's going to be hard for this to do anything. So odds are low. I mean, very low of this actually becoming anything, but it is October and it's getting into an area that is kind of warm, at least the water temperatures here in the Western Caribbean. So just something to keep an eye on as we move into early next week.
But good news for Florida.
Good news for Florida is you've got to deal with the rain for tomorrow and Friday, and then clearing out for the weekend. Talk very quickly about Ana over there.
And you can see that the moisture plume just north of it, and that's not too far away from that. Right up there.
We were saying how this whole system is going to be moving across the Pacific Ocean toward the northwest U.S. Won't be a tropical cyclone, but interesting that we can track the energy into middle part of next week, Chris.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Kim's back with your extended forecast.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm meteorologist Kim Cunningham. Weather Caught on Camera is coming up here in just a moment. We want to get you situated over the next couple of days. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, we've got 3 systems, actually 4 if you count what's happening here in South Florida. One in the Pacific Northwest bringing rain and wind. Elevation for snow, we're talking about 5,000 feet and higher. This weak storm system moving through close to the Great Lakes by tomorrow. The nor'easter bringing more wind and rain tomorrow and airport delays. So make sure you check ahead. Then we have the tropical moisture here across South Florida causing us some headaches with all this rain. But look at the middle of the country by Friday. Most of the country by Friday looks absolutely beautiful. We're setting up for a really nice weekend for a lot of us. Pacific Northwest, more rain than it looks like by Friday. The Northeast getting better so that by Saturday, most of the coast should be A-OK. Interior sections might see a little bit of rain with this. Atlanta, gorgeous 75. Minneapolis, 63 degrees. Let's get you through your weekend. Sunday looks good.
A city explodes. What is this? A mountain crumbles. And one of the widest tornadoes in American history comes roaring across the heartland. No, turn now! Go down! From nightmare typhoons to record-setting volcanoes, things are about to get nasty. We'll light you up and blow you away. So roll up the windows, lock down the doors, and get ready to ride out the storm. It's all ahead on Weather Caught on Camera.
Oh my gosh, the people have kind of panicked.
Every storm hunter knows, sometimes you chase the tornado, and sometimes it chases you.
No, turn now! Go down! Fred, if you don't go south, we're gonna die!
It's May 31st, 2013, and just northwest of Union City, Oklahoma, the clouds are gathering in the area known as Tornado Alley. A massive storm appears on the horizon. Everyone else heads away, but not storm chasers Brandon Sullivan and Brett Wright. Driver Brett Wright is a descendant of the original Wright brothers, but even they never saw skies like this.
We really had no idea that the whole sky basically was the tornado. It was just absolutely huge. Mini tornadoes were forming everywhere. 2 miles of the sky above us is churning violently.
Big tornado on the ground. Large multi-vortex. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Get in the car, get ready to drive, Brett. Large tornado.
You're just looking at a black wall like it's nighttime.
And we noticed the tornado was coming at us, and it was getting closer by the second.
I started to get this sense kind of down deep in my stomach that maybe we were in trouble and a little bit over our heads and we should probably get out of there.
Brett, we got 30 seconds. Oh my goodness. Brett, turn the car around. Let's get ready. Go, get the tripod, just drive.
But now the tornado changes direction.
I see that it's actually turned right and it's coming at us, even as we drive south.
The headwinds start building, up to 100 miles an hour.
The winds were pushing me off the road, so I was driving straight by turning right.
The tornado's heading right at them, and it's coming fast.
We were in big trouble. I knew we were way too close to the tornado at that point. That's when I began to get really scared.
Yes! Go, Brett, go! Quick! Fast as you can! Hurry! 40 is not enough! No, turn now! Go south! Brett, if you don't go south, we're gonna die!
It rips apart a farm, and the debris comes flying. First, the sheet metal.
Yeah! Get down! Duck down!
Sheet metal, and it hit the windshield and shattered it right into my lap.
And then a 2,000-pound hay bale hits them dead on.
Oh. Just drive.
It's like driving down the highway in traffic blindfolded. You don't really know what's going on.
Our car actually begins to feel like it's about to roll over. I can feel my side coming off the ground.
I knew if we got immobilized that we'd be in big trouble.
We gotta get to safety. We're down. They're fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Tried not to panic, because if I knew if I panicked, I might have gone off the road, or lost control, and that would have been bad.
Right now, I can't see. I can't see where I'm going. Oh my God. Yeah, my car's totaled. Just drive. Yeah.
It crossed my mind many times that this could be the end. I could go out chasing a tornado.
In the end, it's a close call for these two University of Oklahoma students as the storm turns away.
The tornado was obviously huge. It was found to be 2.6 miles wide, which is one of the largest in U.S. history.
Not everyone will make it safely through this day. The storm will claim the lives of 3 veteran storm chasers.
I've chased quite a few times since the tornado, and I don't get as close. Losing valued storm chasers, brilliant people like that, it makes you take a step back.
I can't see. Okay, that's fine.
I hopefully never experience something as scary, but if I do, I'll be ready for it.
Get down! Duck down! Duck down!
It really gives you a sense of just how powerful things on this planet can be.
Some folks go looking for trouble, but others, it just finds them. This motorcyclist thinks it's just another day out on the road, but he's in for a shock. July 26th, 2006, and just outside of Colorado Springs, a biker gets lit up.
You don't see it coming, and then bam, it hits you. I'm lucky to be alive.
James Beatty and his brother, both lifelong dirt bikers, are on a cross-country trip.
We rode the Transamerica Trail, which is 5,000 miles of dirt from the Appalachian Mountains in Tennessee all the way to the coastline of Oregon.
They're working on a documentary film called Road Less Traveled. It's a tribute to their father.
It's an adventure that I've been wanting to do for years. To see America off-road in the rural areas that nobody gets to see is just an incredible experience.
But in a small town in Colorado, their adventure runs into mechanical problems.
This sucks. I had a leak in my carburetor, and I had to fix it or else I'd run out of gas. So I pulled up my bike and started working on it, tearing it apart.
And then a storm blows in.
I pushed the bike underneath the awning of the sidewalk where the rain wasn't hitting me. I thought I was perfectly safe there.
But he's not.
The whole world lit up. It's just a moment of complete blinding whiteness, followed by an earth-shattering boom, and you actually feel the atmosphere fall down on top of you. I still feel really shaky. I'm not trying to be overdramatic or anything, but my spine feels lit up. I had a tingling sensation running up and down my spine for probably, I would say, 4 to 6 hours afterwards.
How did it happen? The lightning seems to shoot straight out of the motorcycle. But what actually occurred is quite different.
I wasn't directly hit by the bolt itself. The lightning bolt hit that one of those 2 vents right up there, according to one of the guys who saw it.
James believes the bolt actually travels down the vents and across the wet parking lot.
The kickstand was in a pool of water, which the whole parking lot had turned into a pool of water. And then from that moment, it just spread across.
The water conducts the lightning right into the bike and James himself. Shaken as he is, James feels lucky.
I'm just glad I wasn't hit by the bolt itself. That was some pretty scary stuff. I'm just grateful it wasn't a direct hit, or else I don't even know if I'd be here right now. It has been a long time since I've been scared that bad.
Today, he's learned his lesson.
When you hear that first boom, don't mess around with it. Respect it.
But riding dirt bikes, he's never gonna stop that.
I've gotten a burning passion for riding motorcycles off-road, and that'll be with me to the day I die.
Coming up, a kite surfer lines up a death-defying feat.
He is crazy.
And later, a monster supercell rips apart a sports festival when Weather Caught on Camera returns.
Wild Weather at 8 continues after the break.
Since 1902, Carrier has been inventing new ways to make people comfortable. And today, comfort can also mean efficiency. Because being more efficient with your home heating can mean spending less on it. And that's something everyone can get comfortable with. If If you're ready for Carrier comfort, now you can get cool cash rebates of up to $1,450 on a new system. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Apples are good, as Strongbow hard cider better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
It's comfort food, but I'm not getting too comfortable with my meatloaf recipe. Tonight, I'm adding a packet of Hidden Valley Original Ranch. It's ranch-style meatloaf.
Hidden Valley. The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
We could talk about its refined, class-leading, luxurious interior, or its more than 70 available safety and security features, and optional best-in-class 30 highway MPG. But we let others sum it up for us. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee. It is the best of what we're made of. During the Jeep Celebration event, well-qualified lessees can lease the 2014 Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for $359 a month.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
You're watching Wild Weather at 8.
When bad weather strikes, most folks head inside. But for a few brave sportsmen, a storm isn't a problem. It's an opportunity to go big or die trying.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Is he getting ready to make a wild turn and go back?
No, he's trying to come in, I think.
No, he's not.
He is crazy.
June 24th, 2012. Tropical storm Debbie churns the wind and water off Florida's Gulf Coast. Torrential rains, record flooding, and storm surges create $25 million worth of damage. But for St. Petersburg kitesurfer Billy Parker, this storm is his chance to shine. Parker's been kitesurfing for more than a decade, but there's one foe he's never been able to beat. The pier at Reddington Beach.
For many years now, I've been going around the pier. Every time I go around, I look at him like, one day, I'm going to jump you. I'm going to get you one day.
45 feet high, 1,200 feet long, this rugged old pier of concrete and wood is a formidable obstacle. But as Billy sets up this day, he knows the weather is breaking his way. The tropical storm, with winds gusting up to 50 miles an hour, is going to turbocharge his jumps and give him a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
That day was a whole different day. There was heavy winds. There was nothing going to get in my way that day.
His girlfriend, Tiffany Schrader, is on hand to watch as the wind kicks up.
The rain was coming in, the tide was coming in. The weather was really crazy.
Billy takes to the water. And up in the hotels along the beach, hundreds of people can't believe what they're seeing. Thinking he may be a vacationer in danger, several start to shoot.
If the wind were to change direction, he could be in big trouble.
Tiffany is shooting too.
The wind was just raging down the beach. All eyes on Bill, see what was going to happen.
I'm looking at the waves, I'm lining it up.
Here he comes.
Let me try to run in.
And then it's time.
I knew this was the moment.
And I was like, all right, it's going to happen.
And I was building my speed up, about to release in between 30 and 40 mile an hour.
He's hauling butt. I don't know how fast he's going, but he's going pretty fast.
You have to hit the wave right, and you have to leave the water right with a lot of speed and a lot of power.
Now, everything rides on the takeoff.
That's the make it or break it moment.
If anything goes wrong on the takeoff, you're going to break a lot of things. It would probably feel like getting hit by a car at 40 mile an hour.
He is crazy.
Came in, rode up the wave, edged as hard as I could off the top. Boom, skyrocket. A tenth of a second after you leave the water, you're worried. You're like, oh man, this gots to happen.
And then he's clear.
I just felt complete excitement and joy to be that high in the air, and it's euphoric. It's a great feeling. I'm screaming in my mind, this is it. This was it. Finally, I've done it.
Billy will jump the pier 3 more times this day.
I think everybody should get a good scare, a good rush of adrenaline, or a big smile at least once a day, every day. Makes you feel alive.
Good advice, but leave the piers to Billy Parker.
Nobody should try to jump a pier. If you're going to go out and kite, just stick to the water, learn the tricks, get a surfboard, carve some waves, but don't jump piers.
Billy Parker knew exactly what he was getting into. But thousands of other athletes are in for a big surprise. They're here for the biggest sporting competition in Switzerland. They have no idea the main event is coming early. June 20th, 2013, Biel, Switzerland. Cameraman Matthias Rush and reporter Michael Weinman have been assigned to cover a national sports festival, a kind of mini Olympics held once every 6 years. Over the next few days, Michael and Matthias will be on hand as 60,000 young athletes compete from all across the country.
I was reporting on the local sports club, and I was talking to this one woman of this athletics team and told her, we could do something just here on the field. You show us what you planned for the event. And she said, but do you want us to do it outdoors? I said, yeah, of course. She said, but look at the weather. And I turned around and I realized that within just a few minutes, it had gotten really dramatic.
You could see the black clouds approaching, and you thought, well, maybe it takes another 10 or 50 minutes till the storm hits ground, but actually it only took about 2 minutes and the storm was here.
No one anticipates just how fast and how hard the storm will hit. It comes out of nowhere. Winds gust over 80 miles an hour.
The crowd was panicking. People were trying to run for their lives.
With the roof ripped off, there's nowhere to hide.
I just had a second maybe to react.
Matthias dives for cover.
Suddenly there was so much stuff flying through the air. People were running away, running for their lives, trying to seek some shelter.
And then, almost as fast as it arrived, it's over. In the aftermath, ambulances hurry to the scene.
It was kind of a war scene there. So many ambulances, so many policemen.
Broken legs, injured arms, cuts and bruises everywhere.
It just was a catastrophic scene.
More than 90 people are injured, some severely. And almost everyone, even the veteran journalists, are rattled.
Matthew was in shock. When he arrived, he was shaking with tears in his eyes.
I tried to tell him what happened and I had to start crying. This stuff would have hit me. I mean, I probably would have been dead.
The danger, a rare weather system.
The wind destroyed just everything. Never seen anything like this in Switzerland.
In fact, it was a supercell. An extremely dangerous storm type which only develops when conditions are perfect, with a powerful rotating updraft that explodes vertically.
And suddenly, things weren't just flying around, they were spinning. They were spinning like a tornado.
Weather experts claim the storm is actually the result of a heat wave. Large amounts of snow and ice melting in the Alps nearby.
Certainly the heat wave had something to do with this. Those warm, moist conditions fueled the thunderstorms then that triggered the supercell.
It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I'm pretty sure. And to be honest, I don't want to experience it anymore.
Coming up, the skies open. And the city streets go crazy.
Oh my God, look!
When Weather Caught on Camera returns.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Thursday, morning showers. High 79. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Lowe's presents How to Say Goodbye to 1993 Forever.
Goodbye.
Hurry into Lowe's and get Stainmaster Carpet installed free by Thanksgiving.
I will embrace change. Everything life throws my way. Except for frown lines. Those I'm throwing back.
Olay Total Effects. Nourishing vitamins and 7 beautiful benefits in one for younger looking skin. So while your life may be ever changing, your beautiful skin will stay beautiful. Total Effects from Olay. Your best beautiful.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave